You didn't go for celebration today. Dahi handi, na Marathi we call it. So girls are nobody. You're done. Oh, good. So what? If not, you are. Hey, she's ready. But Bhargavi. Kahan tha last week? On flakes. Acha. Oh, MUN, na? Yeah. So you guys are active. Again, Subhashri has given a beautiful face. Huh? Let's make the.
So we go to Delhi.
Delhi. Oh my God. Now then, what did you do? In fact, in 9th ICSE Bhakti, they were behind me to give a topic. Yesterday, I gave them some good topic. Are you interested?
Yes.
Or shall I give that same topic? Special bench. What is it? Oh, yeah. And you are participating or not?
No, sir.
You? You don't want to?
Ma'am chose some interview.
And generally, who are generally selected in the interview? No. There may be some criterion. I don't know.
Speaking skill. History.
Our subject comes into play. Huh? So don't tell me that you are not good with my subject.
So tomorrow in school we have a Young Gandhi Day, and we have to standard notice for the debate. Yes.
Young Gandhi.
Yes. We have boys politics.
Very good. She's excited. Huh? So you know what is apartheid, Ayush? No idea. What is apartheid? Apartheid.
No.
You want me to help in that topic?
So that's not the name. I'm in space.
Space war.
Space war and Russia and Ukraine.
You are allowed to take on your own.
Yeah. Anything
Sure.
except including India.
India का नहीं रहना चाहिए.
I am delegate of India.
Oh. 9th में इंडिया का डेलीगेट बन के 10th में तो फिर प्राइम मिनिस्टर प्रेसिडेंट क्या भाई सुभश्री एंड बेचारा इसको हम लोग डेलीगेट ऑफ अमेरिका बना. Not happy? चलो फिर रशिया बन जाओ. Okay, let's come back to our main topic. We had completed hydrosphere. We have to start that atmosphere, correct? Atmospheric structure and the composition. Am I correct? There are 2 chapters of atmosphere. The first chapter will be composition and structure. So I think we are good with the motion speed of your school.
Yes, sir. Our school is on denudation. Yeah.
Very bad. Huh? Why they are so slow, dear?
So ma'am can do short chapter in 1 period also.
That is so sweet of the.
So ma'am will tell you all are talking and finish the chapter now.
Yes. You should tell them, huh? We are not talking, you finish it. ठीक है, school है, they'll take. So when I explain hydrosphere, I remembered mentioning even atmosphere. Mentioning? Now these are the only 2, we can say, possibilities which makes life on only one planet. What is that? Which planet life is possible? Earth. So do they have, does it have atmosphere? Does it have hydrosphere? तुरंत बच्चा बोलता मैं भी है, उसके बीच में मैं भी है. Definitely. So if I say hydrosphere is a ream of water, what is atmosphere then? Very good. What is the difference between envelope and blanket, Ayush? तो envelope bed में मिलता है और blanket नहीं envelope आके post में मिलेगा और blanket किधर मिलेगा bedroom में मिलेगा. Correct है ना? and it covers the what? A with its different composition. Now the maximum percentage, it is 71%. Can anybody tell me which is this?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen. Why there is a confusion?
8%.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Achha, I made it up. 78%. Now what is next? Ayush will tell. Nobody. Ayush, tell me what is the next? Tell Ayush. What is it? It is oxygen.
21%.
Very good. It is 21%. And finally, we use the word other. Chalega. Other gases, it's 1%. Now I always feel, which is not reality, if oxygen was 78% and nitrogen is 21%, what will be the change?
Plants.
Plants will change.
Plants will die.
Okay, plants will die. Very good. Why?
Because they need nitrogen.
They need carbon dioxide. They need nitrogen. Without nitrogen, the plants cannot. So who came first? Plants or human being?
Plants.
Confirm. Human beings are not first. Animals. I don't know. If I say, there's a big tussle even today. No scientist can answer that question. What is that? Egg or a chicken? Which came first?
Egg.
Egg. Confirm.
Chicken.
Oh man.
No, egg.
Ayush, which came first? Egg or a chicken? These guys saying egg, but without chicken, where is the egg? Fall on the sphere. And somebody told me, sir, chicken. Sir, ande ke andar is a chicken bar. Oh, this is a troublesome question. Huh? So like you and me, there were two people who were went to a hotel, and the waiter came, sir, how may I help you? But both were fighting. Fighting on which issue? Egg and chicken. And after 15 minutes standing down there, the waiter was, oh my dear, kya ho raha hai? Band Acha. The waiter told, sir, I can solve this problem. Oh, bola, huh? Nobody, sir, I will solve it. So two friends were very eager. Then tell what will come first, either egg or a chicken. He said, whatever you order, I will bring it that first. Understood? If you order egg, पहला मिल जाएगा. If you order chicken, वो भी मिल जाएगा. खा के बिल भरो और चुपचाप निकलो यहाँ से. Because this is not the right place to. है ना? So always we believe hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and what are we going to discuss? Argon, water vapor, carbon dioxide. आप बोलेंगे ये सब हमको क्या करना है? We are only worried for oxygen. But don't you think even carbon dioxide is very important?
Yes.
What is that process in which carbon dioxide is released and oxygen? Very good. It absorbs all the carbon dioxide and it releases life-saving oxygen. Look, I use the word life-saving. Don't you think in every city this life-saving is a real trouble? I remember in foreign schools, every child after 5th standard given full medical assistance. How do you do a CPR? What is a CPR? Bhargavi knows it. When a person had got a heart attack, and maybe one of your friend or anybody, how quickly you have to keep your left and right thumb exactly on the chest, and you have to count 1, 2, 3, and 1 go. Because the heart can be restarted within, I think, 6.5 minutes once it stops. But if you wait, and they also teach when there is a fire in the building, they press a fire alarm. And each student with the teacher has to respectively go out. Don't you think India is a... We are waiting for the last bell to go. We push the teacher and run out of the school. It should be taught.
In 4th standard.
Abhi nahi kar rahe.
4th standard, no, all they made us stand and we make a line and go down.
Come on, that's the fire alarm. Oh, that's very bad. Then CBSE have a separate group out of geography unit. It is called disaster management. What is disaster management? When there is an earthquake, flood, or any fire incident, how do you behave? तुरंत एक लड़का ने बोला सर अगर कम मार्क्स मिले ना मम्मी पापा बहुत खुश सर वो भी डिजास्टर में डालना चाहिए. So we always believe Earth without atmosphere is incomplete. So as you guys told me, it is envelope, blanket of air which comprises of this. So when we understand more in detail atmosphere, we are going to look at a small diagram which is given in your textbook. Don't I'll say. So first one we are marking this is 0 to 18 kilometers, correct? Check your textbook. वही है. In the volume it is there. Then from 18 to I'm sure it is close to 100 kilometers. Just let me double confirm. 50 kilometers. 50 है, sure?
Yes. 20 to 50 is ozone layer.
No, 18 to 50. Ozone वहाँ से कहाँ? Ozone तो उधर आएगा ही. This is 50 kilometers and 50 to 100, है ना? And then 100, sure?
Yes. 80.
Next, 400. Ionosphere. 50 kilometers, 400 and 1500. Now let me explain this one by one. Okay. And this is above 1500. You say 1500. And if I say one atmosphere is having so much structure, how do we study? The first one that we are studying is, what is that? Troposphere, correct? And what is the second one? It is stratosphere. Stratosphere, na? Then we are having mesosphere, correct?
Yes.
Then we are having ionosphere. And finally, thermosphere, which also a part hai. And the above 1500 is called as exosphere. And iske baad apna universe start ho jata. And generally we are worried where human beings are located. Yes. Finally, troposphere. Hey, you tell me, Ayush, where human beings are located in atmosphere? Look at the intelligently. Troposphere. ये तो और ऊपर जाता है. Stratosphere. We are located in lithosphere. Okay. How could you and me go and stay in atmosphere? Atmosphere में जाके घर बना सकते. Suddenly in Mohan KK branch, a boy told me, sir, we are living in the sector 11. Address is this. वही है. उधर ही रहता हूँ. He is correct also. But when I am saying Earth, lithosphere means something the outermost shell of the Earth. Correct? So we have to understand all this sphere has its own importance. Especially, I believe this ionosphere. What is an ionosphere? Mainly satellites, radio waves, ions. Then we have mesosphere, and aeroplanes are generally in between this. It flies. And there is something important which is not mentioned. We call this as a tropopause. Come on, everyone. Tropo. I use the word pause separately. Why? There it's a part of this. So we always believe tropopauses means what? Between troposphere and stratosphere, there is a pause. What is a pause? This is 0 kilometer, correct? And this is how much kilometer? 50. But in between the 0 to 50, we are pausing at one distance. That is how much kilometer? 80. So we are saying there is a pause. Pause for what? Troposphere and stratosphere. Is it clear? Come on, everyone, draw this picture in your notebook after writing 2 lines about atmosphere. Write down first what is atmosphere. Atmosphere. Atmosphere refers to, it's a big non-commercial. Are you aware? I don't understand. Atmosphere refers to blanket of air. Atmosphere refers to blanket of air surrounding the earth. Surrounding the earth. I knew it. Atmosphere refers to blanket of air surrounding the earth with. Who will write then for atmosphere?
I will write for a copy.
Complicated organisms. Sorry, complicated girls. What did I say? Surrounding the atmosphere, surrounding the earth with several layers, depending on density. With several layers, depending on density and what did you say?
Depending on
density and this one, even I get for these some words. Altitude. Depending on density and altitudes. Then the second sentence afterwards, you are allowed to draw the diagram. It protects the earth. What is it stands for? What is it? Atmosphere. Here chapter ही वही है. Look, she is busily doing. It protects us from harmful UV rays. What does UV stands for? Ultraviolet. It protects us from harmful UV rays of the sun. Inside the bracket, ozone layer. Ozone. It's a part of the atmosphere. It is ozone. Now let's start drawing the diagram. I'm sharing a very colorful diagram in the screen so that you can also draw. Take your pencil. Don't draw using a pen. Take your time. You also draw, Ayush. I'm sharing the diagram. Hey, you like this character, no? You gonna get? Not this character.
Sir, Dr. Binox.
Dr. Binox, ये भी हुई है ना? कौन है कौन है? I get to know from you guys.
This video is also very same one.
That is what.
Is brave enough not to know.
Is brave enough out of the three girls? Bargari. Why don't breathe? आर्या को आगे का आप धक्का मार क्यों आर्या को ऐसा क्या देख के आप लोगों ने ब्रेक बोला? अच्छा, she might be just cracking some jokes. Arya is ready to fight with the boys also in the school.
Yes, sir.
Woman, no? Don't you think they are poor creatures?
If you like that, she
Poor creatures, मतलब बेचारा है ना? But some are naughty. I know that.
That's not something if you
Who is that?
Suyash.
What are they? 9th में कि 10th में?
All 10 also.
अच्छा but अच्छा this boy online fellow.
No, sir.
In this diagram you can pick up, but wait, it is 20 kilometers. You write 18 kilometers, huh? 18 kilometer, 50 kilometer, 85, 80. This is 690. No, you don't do this. There is some confusion. Wait. Is this matching with our textbook? I hope. But they have not given this one, huh? Look at even you like bachas have done a diagram also. Oh my God, I should not say bachas tonight. Saturday, bacha bola nahi, hum bacha nahi kar rahe hain. In Teachers Day celebration, what you guys have done here? Very got a class here.
We give gifts to the teachers.
Oh, क्या दिया मैडम? अरे इधर
Here in this division.
इधर कुछ नहीं किया. स्कूल में क्या हुआ? I heard in one of the school, teachers and principals are made to dance thoroughly.
Yeah, it was dance.
Your school only?
Like all the council members, we had to stay back and we danced for the teachers and everything.
Oh, that is so sweet, huh? It's any old teacher dancing didn't get any trouble. Oh. Once in a blue moon, they should also enjoy their life, right? Everything.
And everything.
That's very good.
These
Either
people are like that. We are the council.
Oh, but office का प्यून वगैरह वो सब नहीं था.
No, we had to work.
Sure. Hey guys, this is the picture you can draw. Look at it. This is a nice one. Let it get complete. I'm going to stop it. Let me remove that hand also. Quite okay, is it? Chalo. Is he able to see this? Did I share it? Yeah, Ayush, this is the one. Either you draw like this, or you draw in a. Come on. Exosphere, thermosphere, mesosphere. Look at that. It is troposphere and stratosphere. In between, we have a layer called ozone. Let me also mark ozone. For this picture, shall I mark it here? Thin layer called ozone. It is O3 or something. Chemical I have done, but O3, huh? Yes. Okay. Yeah.
40 out of 50.
It's free. Don't do some
The 40 out
night
of
class,
50.
something different. Right? That's very sad. How about the
English.
what is in my subject?
I have to
Very good. Arya,
57. I had to play that one out. The
18 is
paper
67.
the paper like the highest we are expecting. Yes.
ठीक है ना, it's okay.
So math and geography high.
It's like a girl from the other batch told me, sir, I was first in the 100-meter relay. So very good. How many did you run? So I was only in the running race.
So my boy got in all subjects, he got 8 out of 2. Yeah. So he is a robot.
Is that?
Robot. We are considered. Yes.
That's very fun. What's his name? What's his name?
Fast.
Swastik.
But
Should
he
I-
doesn't speak like normal English. He's written. He's probably good one. No, he wasn't. No. Oh.
I think girls are envy of you. That's what I can see.
Yeah.
But he's getting 80 out of 80 because this thing.
So when he goes out, he will get dressed and then he can't go. Last time I saw him when he was going, he was a bicycle. He was going in his hand, he was having a little book in his hand.
Maybe next time I'd love to see him. Kaun hai bhai Kartik? All the subjects is take 80 out of 80.
Yes. Amishi.
Dekho, instead of, even I remember during my school days, I was not exact 80 out of 80. I used to get 90, 95 out of 100. So there was a girl who was second rank. Even she used to say behind me. लेकिन से क्या बोला नहीं, you are a good scholar. तो क्या मेरे पीछे क्या बोलता है? Many subgroup ऐसे ही. There might be some. I never attempt, but I used to produce the answers without saying my words. Exactly. When the teachers are explaining nice easy, you have to listen to the case and write it. Jallianwala Bagh massacre, I still remember. Ma'am gave me 4 pages answer. Tomorrow exam, I am just checking one. I didn't study it. And it came for 8 months. And she gave me 7.5. And she told, how did you learn? मैंने बोला learn ही नहीं किया. तो फिर कैसे लिखा मैडम मुझे याद है when you are dictating notes ना that 4 5 5. So do smart study. वैसे भी आप लोग स्मार्ट ही करते हैं ना 4 पेज इधर से छोड़ देने का 4 पेज उधर से बीच का करने का. Ayush, how you study man? Smart. Hey Ayush, what is the name of your school man? Your friends want to know. Poddar is it? Khargar Poddar is it? We have Poddar. Nerul. Sure. Share some details. These guys want to know which school में क्या मस्ती करता है. You do all masti, huh?
Yes, sir.
Oh, bad boy. And how is your study?
Nice, sir.
Very good, very good. And tell me your best friend's name. Not girls, huh? अच्छा, उसको है friends. How they are in studies?
Huh?
How they are in studies?
They are not so good.
अच्छा, you help them or they help you?
I have
Don't tell me this. So your friends are Buddhu than you, huh? Sorry, I can't use. They'll come and fight with me. चलो जरा इससे पूछना भाई where is your friend there? I know that they are in school, but
Who are your friends?
without the names. Good in SST कौन है तुम्हारा friends? कौन है वो? He or she?
She.
She is good in geography.
Yeah.
Does she?
She.
Anybody good in geography?
No.
Nobody. How about you?
I'm good at maths. Some people are maths toppers.
Alright. I want you to be a topper, but thoda sa. Chalo. At least everybody have understood the structure. Let us give the reading to Arya. Then we'll go on one by one. She is going to read the structure of the atmosphere. The diagram is done very colorfully. Correct? Let's explain one after the other. Come on. You read very slow. Not the starting. Structure of the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, there are concentric layers. What is that word concentric?
Circles.
Where is the circle?
Circles. Continue.
ये मैथ में टॉपर ऐसा है. Concentric circles क्या होता है? If you ask me, I also sir I know, but concentric circle are those circles which are drawn with the same midpoint.
Sir.
Look. Say when I'm
It was there in water capture. No.
water can. Geometry में basic है. Look here. When I want to show the Earth atmosphere like this only I show na. And they have taken one cut section. Are you seeing?
Yes.
So these are concentric circles drawn with the common center. That is concentric. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. In the atmosphere, there are concentric layers of air. Each layer has different density. The upper layer spreads down to the lower ones. So the air of the lower layer is always heavier or denser, while the upper layers are thinner or less dense.
Okay.
In this way, about 90% of the mass of air lies within a height of about 20 kilometers from the surface of the Earth.
Underline that. Within 20. We have written 18. It is close to 20. Okay, that is the first layer. Okay, go ahead.
On the basis of the characteristics of temperature and air pressure, there exist 4 thermal layers of the atmosphere.
Underline that word thermal. Why they are using the word thermal?
Heat.
Heat. Very good. Where is the heat coming from?
From
सन से आता मुंह से नहीं आता हीट only UV rays are attracted. You only say keep no, then where is yes? Hey, you tell me, Ayush, where is the heat on the earth coming from? These guys are totally confused.
Inside the
अरे मुझे कुछ समझा नहीं फिर से.
inside
Everybody knows when sunlight or sun hits the earth is heated from the surface first. क्या मालूम है?
Yes.
And then the heat radiation moves like here. Highest altitude. Correct? Altitude मतलब height है ना?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Will have the lowest temperature. ये तो पता है. Correct है ना? What does it mean? The earth eats the surface first, and what does travel up? But what do we call that? Correct.
Water vapor. So can it be?
Banyan tree.
So can it be?
I heard like that. It is the sun's radiation. क्या science में strong है.
So I said, can you repeat?
अच्छा can you repeat it? I heard banyan tree. It is the earth's surface always heated first.
Yes.
And from here the radiation moves up. The more you are at a higher altitude, the lower will be the. So that's understandable. If lower is the temperature, what will be atmospheric pressure? Yes.
Lower. I guess.
Only she, but you? Sorry, give up.
Both.
Both cannot happen. Whereas at the ground temperature is high, atmospheric pressure will be low. Hey, sorry. मैंने उठा You see the mountain climbers, they carry with cylinders. एक लड़का सर LPG cylinder सर उधर बैठ के खाना बना. Why oxygen cylinder? Level is down. So pick it up. You tell me why the mountain climbers carry oxygen cylinder. Your answer is correct only. The air becomes thinner, less denser. So, what? Oxygen molecules are very less. And normally, I don't know if you have seen any post-mortem देखा है क्या वीडियो में तो कौन डॉक्टर बनने आ रहा है? अच्छा. I remembered one of my students बोला सर मुझे ना blood देखते ही चक्कर आ जाता है. Then she became the MD. पहला सर्जरी में डॉक्टर नीचे गिर गया, पेशेंट बुला रहा है, मैडम उठो मेरा सर्जरी है. नहीं मुझे ब्लड नहीं देख सकता. फिर कैसे तू सर्जरी? Normally when we say the climbers are moving up, their lungs are not able to do this action. What is this action? Contraction, expansion. When you run fast, you are what is that? But what do we call that? Breathlessness. Why do you do? Because the heart starts beating faster and your lungs cannot adjust. And in fact, some people told me very beautifully, sir, apne ko perspiration bhi kyun aata hai? When you are playing on a hot sun, your body cannot adjust the temperature. So to cool your body, only perspiration comes. ये भी मालूम है कि नहीं? पक्का? फिर अभी मैं पूछता हूँ फिर भाई सर. So we always believe this temperature and atmosphere pressure are inverse. Low temperature, high pressure, high temperature, low pressure. Okay, chalo. Arya, continue reading.
Yes. They are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and photosphere.
Troposphere का एक sound आया, दूसरा फेयर का एक और एक show. चलो, put all that into bracket. We'll be doing one by one.
The thermosphere is divided into ionosphere and exosphere.
Underline that, ionosphere and exosphere.
Troposphere.
So let the reading taken by Bhargavi.
Explain. The troposphere is the lowermost and densest layer.
Underline the first word, lowermost. See why it is densest? Since it is closer to the ground, the air thickness will be higher. What you guys are? Who is disturbing who? So shall I make these two guys sit here? Carry on, carry on.
Its height.
Bench is so much. Why are you like a Fevicol binder? Fevicol here or kuch hai? Fevicol bhi hai. Carry on.
Its height varies from 8 kilometers equator to 8 kilometers at the pole.
Underline 18 kilometer. Yeah. 18 hai na?
Yeah, 18 kilometers at the equator and 8 kilometers.
Look, from equator, if I want to touch the troposphere, it is how much is the length? 18 kilometer, correct? But from the poles to that, it is only 8 kilometer. Do you understand what is that? I have written there. From the equator, if I want to reach, it is total 18. But from the poles, it is just only 8. How?
8 kilometers.
But how? Or why? Equator is?
Other kind of the obvious equator is at the center.
Poles are at the corner.
No.
देखो atmosphere मतलब earth का ऊपर का ही layer है ना, correct है ना? And this layer is closer to poles or closer to equator?
Pole.
Closer to pole, so automatically only 8 kilometer रहेगा. But from equator it is far. अभी clear है?
So
From equator troposphere is 18. From poles is just 8 kilometer.
So sir, from equator to pole, the distance is only 10 kilometers.
We are not exactly saying that. We are measuring the distance of the atmosphere layer called troposphere. Okay, go ahead.
Characteristics.
Okay.
75% of the atmosphere is found in the troposphere and its concentration decreases as we go higher from ground.
Underline first line, 75%. And concentration decreases. Is the sentence correct? Concentration decreasing. When we move uppermost layer, come on Subhashri, which is the uppermost layer?
Exosphere.
Now where is that? Up. Where troposphere is down on. Huh? Above the exosphere is universe. Or we say it is space. What is space stands for?
Which contains everything. Everything means some million space.
Hey, what is space? Ayush, according to you? वो बोला सर अभी तक मैं उधर ही नहीं गया बाकी सब जगह जाकर. Space is just one layer above exosphere. Can anybody tell me who was the first person to go around the space? No, Neil Armstrong had gone to moon.
No,
I'm asking above exosphere. You are interested to see him?
Yes.
Pakka. But after that video, I will be asking questions.
Okay, sir.
Will you not answer?
So we will answer.
You will answer. Okay. I spelled it wrong. It's a very nice video. Please watch it. She guessed it American, but it is not American. Opposite of American. Please.
Indian?
No, opposite of American.
China?
Second.
British?
No.
No.
If I am right.
Russian. Russian.
It's UV Calgary. This is the video. You must watch. It's a beautiful video. And you listen to that lady who is speaking Russian.
So you have to share some culture about it.
He never complained that the sound so many. And he's a BBC correspondent. Hopefully you understand his level of English. Russian rocket. They're called cosmos.
This is Space Conquerors Park, a few hundred miles south of Moscow. It's a celebration of Russia's achievements in space exploration. And the reason the park was built here is that 60 years ago, this place became part of a remarkable story. On the 12th of April 1961, a Soviet Air Force pilot, Yuri Gagarin, became the first human to blast into space. And on his descent, Gagarin parachuted out of the tiny space capsule he was in, and he landed here. This was farmland at the time, much to the surprise of a 5-year-old girl who was out in the fields planting potatoes.
Бабушка
Look at that. This is that granny, and that's a 5-year-old girl.
делала луночки, а я просто помогала, бросала картошечку в
This
луночку.
girl is now she's talking in the
Через
field.
некоторое время я обернулась в поле и увидела что-то оранжевое, красивое, непонятно что. И шел к нам навстречу. Бабушка испугалась. Бабушка испугалась, схватила меня за руку, и мы хотели убежать в сторону дома. Говорит: мамаша, стойте, я свой. Я бабушке сказала: остановись, послушай, говорит по-русски, человек, наверное.
What do you remember most about this spaceman who was suddenly standing in front of you?
Конечно, улыбка. Улыбка. И голос такой добрый.
We learned a
Бабушка
Russian
спросила:
language.
откуда ты, на чем, как сюда попал вообще на поле? Он говорит: я на корабле. Она ему сказала: тут воды-то близко нету, какой корабль? Он говорит: я с неба.
Раскрывай объятия столицы.
The next call was at Admiralty House to see the Prime Minister. Mr. Macmillan said, he's a delightful fellow, which just about sums up what everybody thought.
How does it feel to have been part of history?
Я считаю, что в жизни мне очень повезло, что я оказалась первой, что я оказалась на этом поле, сажала картошку с бабушкой. И я очень горжусь тем, что именно наш советский космонавт спустился к нам с небес на наше поле.
Hundreds of people have since travelled into space, but only one man was first. And Russians are intensely proud of the fact that it was their guy, Yuri Gagarin, who made history with his flight to the stars.
Okay, so now the question is started. People ready?
Yes, sir.
Let us put the question to him first. Hey, are you ready for the questions? Based on the video. Okay, who can tell me which year was this incident? Not incident.
1960.
1960. What was his full name?
Yuri Gagarin.
Gagarin. And he is from?
Russia.
Where did he land in?
On a potato.
On a potato field. Next to this, who was the other person who landed in space? वो वीडियो में नहीं था, but I understand. 1961 was Russian. 1969 was Neil Armstrong and Armstrong. They landed on the moon. But how many of you know that many channels have proved that it was not a real incident? It was a Hollywood set. सुना है किसी ने? सुना है? कैसे? Which news channel? What do you say? Al Jazeera तो कभी born भी नहीं हुआ, अभी ये recently है. But many people say 6th time America has landed on moon and close to the equator of moon. And I'm going to show you that interesting video. So where the reporter is saying the first one, itself they hoaxed it. You know what I mean by hoax? Shall we? That's an Australian correspondent. How beautifully she speaks. Let's see whether it is reality or a myth. But Americans themselves are not happy because they have shown only one black and white video. But that video was not conclusive that whether it was correct or it was wrong. First. So Bharti is there, but Bharti will take a lot of time. Australia. Yeah, this is the.
Now, this isn't really the kind of story we normally do, but it is absolutely fascinating. One of those wild ideas that take
and sweep around the world. It all began with a documentary that claimed the astronauts never ever landed on the moon, that the whole event was faked by the Americans, filmed on a movie set. Normally, you'd just dismiss this as another of those crazy conspiracy theories. But then you find that 20% of Americans, that's like 60 million people, actually believe there's something in it, that the giant leap for mankind could have been the hoax of the century.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Some say it was the greatest achievement of the 20th century. And looking back, it was truly amazing. Apollo 11 was a major propaganda victory for America and a major boost to national confidence. So much so that more and more people around the world now believe it was a giant confidence trick. Not one astronaut has been on the moon.
I'm afraid not.
No Apollo ever
Nope.
landed on the moon. It's all a lie.
I'm afraid so. The government lies. What a surprise.
Bart Zabrell is a documentary filmmaker, a committed Christian, and a man obsessed. He and his disciples believe all the Apollo moon landings were a conspiracy on a massive scale.
While some may say to deny the moon landings would be tantamount to denying the Holocaust, we have to realize that there were 300 million eyewitnesses to World War II, but to this supposed greatest event in human history, there were only 3 witnesses, each government employees, and there was no independent press coverage of this event. And all that we saw was a fuzzy black and white television picture.
Houston, you should have a picture now. We have a pretty good picture now.
Now, if you think you've heard all this before, you could be right. Back in 1978, Hollywood made a movie called Capricorn 1.
Ready, slow-mo.
Houston, I'm stepping on to the surface.
Take slow-mo.
The movie was about a mission to Mars, but the landing was staged, secretly filmed on a movie set. The conspiracy theorists reckon if Hollywood could fake it, so could NASA.
I was rolling on the moon one day.
They say this famous image of the astronauts planting the American flag on the moon actually happened in an air-conditioned studio. And that's why the flag is flapping. We all know there's no wind on the moon.
You can look at the footage yourself, and it certainly looks to me like the flag is either alive or there's
Oh,
wind.
the
I
flag
believe
is
it was air
like
conditioning
wrong.
because of
There is
the
no.
natural or artificial lighting that they had, as well as the fact that they're in
That's
spacesuits
what
without
they have to
cooling.
be. He's an American film.
And according to Bart Zabrell, there's more proof it was all a hoax. If the astronauts were really on the moon, there would be only one source of light, the sun, and therefore only one light making all the shadows.
It's 20 times brighter than the desert on Earth. There's no artificial lighting, no need for it. All shadows will run parallel. Sometimes we have 2 objects in a picture just a few feet from one another, and the shadows are going as
Length of
much
the
as
shadow
90
is
degrees
very
in a different
long.
direction. And that's circumstantial evidence of
Neil
artificial
Armstrong and
lighting.
Emerson.
If it was all faked, there were some tricky problems for the
This
hoaxers.
is-
For
They have
instance,
to.
how to fake the effect of the moon's gravity. That's
Rather
easy,
than a
says
greater
Bart
speed,
Zabrell.
they have seemed to be walking. They're not walking.
When we take the traditional television picture as seen by NASA, it's very convincing. They seem to be kind of floating around, and it looks like 1/6 gravity. But all you have to do as a filmmaker is to double the speed, and it's very clear that they're on Earth. They're not jumping 6 feet in the air. They're getting a few inches off of the ground.
It's silly. If you actually
When
watch
you're
it,
making it slow, you seem to be jumping.
these guys are hopping around and they're out of balance.
Phil Plait is an astronomer at Sonoma State University in California. As far as he's concerned, Bart Zabrell is just plain crazy. If it was all faked on a movie set, why didn't the director just go for a second take when he saw the flag waving?
What's really going on is, in the airless environment of the moon, the astronauts have stuck a pole into the lunar surface and they're twisting it. And as they're twisting it, the flag is flapping. You don't need air to do that. It's very easy to show that you don't need air to do it. It's just the inertia of the cloth. It's just the flag flapping because material moves when you shake it.
And as for the shadows allegedly made by the studio lights,
Well, that's wrong, and it's easy to show wrong. You can go out on an evening where the sun is low and shadows are long, and just look at a row of trees or a fence post, and if you look at them, you'll see that the shadows don't look parallel. It's just perspective, and that's all you're seeing in these images where the shadows look like they're going in different directions. It's simply due to perspective.
Let's stop it.
Sabrell claims that if the astronauts did travel to the moon, they would have passed through the Van Allen belt of radiation that surrounds the Earth. The early belief of scientists was that the Van Allen belt would be deadly to human travelers, but later research showed it might not be so harmful.
The experts believe that it's not lethal simply because they believe the astronauts went through it. I've interviewed them. They're my age, and they say, well, we know that the belts aren't lethal because the astronauts went through them to the moon and back. Therefore, they can't be hazardous to your health. And that's their logic as to why the belts are not lethal.
So what does NASA say about all this? At their headquarters in Houston, there's
Okay,
a
I'll
museum
stop
of
it.
the mighty...
So one thing what we come to know, what is it? Good. What was good? But we'll see next time, na? Because we'll have little bit of story going ahead, hai na? Chale. I'm only reading. You can look at page number where. Okay. Let her read. Let her read. Come on, read. Okay, that is red. Characteristics we were reading. The decreases temperature is known as underline. Normal lapse rate. I think ये हम लोग ने second chapter में किया है. Look at that. Every 1 degree Celsius for how many meters? Underline 166 meters. So this is how the temperature falls on the Earth. 132 page number, characteristics, second last point. For every 166 meter, how much temperature falls? 1 degree. Did everybody find out? This temperature variation within troposphere underline. Many turbulences. What is turbulences? Something uncommon phenomena. Okay, let's move ahead. As a result of these turbulences, all weather phenomena takes place underline in this layer. Which layer? Troposphere. The troposphere underline heated from below. Upper limit is known as, what is that? Tropopause. Did you write it in your diagram? Tropopause?
Yes.
Okay, let's move to the stratosphere. This layer lies underline above tropopause and total length is 50 kilometers from sea level. Could anybody tell me why sea level they are taking? Basics of geography. Huh? Whenever we write any mountain's peak, the height, we write something like this, MSL. If I say Mount Everest in India is 8848 MSL. What does MSL stands for? Mean height above sea level. Matlab sea is one scale which is constant because certain mountains go below the sea also. So from here we measure the peak. So same we are measuring even the atmosphere. Why she's doing some ray looks? Kya ho gaya? All good, huh? Hopefully good. Okay, next. The air here is thin, cold and dry. Underline that. It is minus 55. Yeah, how much is the south pole of moon climate temperature? They said it's minus 245 when sun is not lighting up that side. The ozone layer underline lies in this stratosphere. Generally found between circle 20 to 50. Ozone absorbs, we have already done. Insolation equal to, acha wo mat karna because I will be explaining next chapter. And that's all. Now go to the second last line. Temperature rises from underline minus 60 at the base to 0 degree at stratopause. The upper limit is known as stratopause. Upper limit of what? Stratosphere is known as stratopause. So the diagram idhar likhna. That's what today we'll be doing. Everyone write it in your diagram. Like we have tropopause, we also have which pause? stratopause, the upper limit. Please write in your diagram. Let's see the question answers. What happened? Both behaving like Charlie and Chaplin, or Harley and David. Okay, come to page number 141. We have questions 1, question 3, question 4. Bus. Leave the second question. You solve 1, 3, and 4. Will do. So next Thursday we are meeting, continuing our atmosphere. Understood, Ayush? How many questions you should solve? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Chili. Thank you. I'll see you in my next class. Good day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.